let's punk some people out here in Historic, huh? For people that haven't seen this before, this deck is based around its namesake in Storm Herald here. So when it enters the battlefield, return any number of auras from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creatures you control. We use cards like Faithless Looting, Supplier, Grisly Salvage, Binding, Calls the Dead to dump things like Prodigious Growth, Ancestral Mask, Rune of Might, and Setessan Training into our graveyard. And then you put Storm Herald into play and then bring a bunch of enchantments back and then attack for a bunch. This deck can kill as early as the third turn by casting this and then putting lots of enchantments on it and attacking your opponent. Things like Faithless Looting, Grisly Salvage make this deck incredibly consistent. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes here this morning. I think the format has narrowed a bit in Historic overall, but I think this deck is probably consistent enough and linear enough to have real game in the format. It has a bit of a transformative sideboard as well, so against the Jeskai control decks, you pivot into this more fair game plan that's not all in on its graveyard and can be pretty reasonable there still. Okay, that's the start. We'll start with this. We'll cast this at sorcery speed so that we feel like a Stitcher Supplier here. We could cast it. I'm going to take the redundant Storm Herald just in case my opponent has a counter spell of some sort. Okay. We have lethal next turn. Oh, and they're Indomitable Creativity. They're not, what's it called? I guess if they coma us here, we can't kill them. So, Rune of Might, Ancestral Mask, Rune of Might, Ancestral Mask, Prodigious Growth. Alright. So I don't think we fully change into a different sideboard plane here against the combo deck. I think I just want to bring in Thoughtseizes for a little bit of disruption. We'll trim the Mire Tritons, a Setessan Training, and a Calls the Dead to fit those in. But I think we want to stay in our primary game plan to largely be racing them. Say it's not terrible. It has two things that fill the graveyard up, 3 things that fill the graveyard up. Actually quite good now. So Binding of the Titans eventually can pick a Storm Herald back up out of the bin. So all of these filling up the graveyard is nice. Gives us a chance to draw the Titan, or the Storm Herald. Hey, Kevin, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You and me both. Yeah, a little bit of a medium mill, huh? What cards am I excited to rotate out? Sultai Ultimatum, Companions, and Eldraine. It's not just Eldraine, chat. Eldraine's a problem child, but like there's more. Standard has like I'm ready for a companionless format. Hey, well, welcome back, Anoma. Good to have you again. Getting close, clown hairs. No Storm Herald in the top third of our deck here, unfortunately. Alright, so we're dead to Dwarven Mine, Indomitable Creativity. One of the toughest things about Magic in the last little bit is that Standard has fundamentally failed at providing the experience that it's supposed to provide. Which, for people not familiar, the point of Standard as a format in Magic the Gathering is supposed to provide an experience that's varied. And Standard very explicitly has not been a format that changes as things go on. It's been most of the same since rotation last year. So it feels to me like it's fundamentally failed in its goal as a format. Both and more specifically, to highlight issues past that, both historic and modern have gone through more meaningful changes in the last year and a half than Standard has with its different set releases. It could be that I'm supposed to looting to dig for Storm Herald here. Am I dead yet? I would wager they're the Sage deck here. Yep, so. People that haven't seen the opponent's deck, it puts these two things into play, which generate a large, finite number of 1/1 flyers with haste equal to the number of cards in my opponent's deck, so we are dead. Okay, we're just gonna run it back. I mean, there's a solution other than making rotation shorter. Like, Magic used to have formats called Block and Extended that were other formats that rotated quite frequently. So I don't even know that they need to like have Standard rotate faster and make people complain. So Runeterra's current format is just like they did probably their biggest balance patch ever. So it's definitely a case of if it's bad, we don't know yet. So I mean, something that's like true of all card games is like new formats tend to be fun if they're not overshadowed by a bunch of Eldraine bullshit. What am I bidding here? I think it's Salvage Supplier. Obviously need a black source. We can cast this without it at least. And this could mill us into a black source potentially. He types so fast without typos. Years of experience. I played lots of Type Racer as a small child. Listen, chat, if you didn't type quickly, you got killed during your game of Counter-Strike, so you had to type quickly. It was a matter of necessity. Oh, punish! Should have shocked this in and done this for Blooming Marsh. And 2 life doesn't matter. Should have played to that out. I put the rune on my binding here because I want the rune to end up in my graveyard. So we can pick this up, and then I can Stitcher Supplier plus Grisly Salvage this turn. And then hopefully they don't combo kill us next turn. They could end step, cycle Shark Typhoon, untap Dwarven Mine, kill us on 4. Carcom, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back, I appreciate it. I will publish what exactly the schedule is going to look like for the 4th, probably tonight or tomorrow night. Probably tomorrow night. I'll post my schedule in full for next week. Because my schedule isn't final for the following week until I post it on Twitter, basically. There's always little things that can change. Like next week, for example, there's a Magic set release on July 8th, so that will impact like what my schedule looks like. Like I'll probably do slightly longer variety stuff earlier in the week, and then Thursday and Friday will be all Magic. Since there's a set release. So I think if they let this trigger resolve without interacting with my board, I put all of my enchantments on the Stitcher Supplier, so that way they don't get Aether Gusted, right? Oh, did they think the enchantments had to go on Storm Herald? Sorry, friend, that's not how that works. We could still die next turn. They could go land Indomitable Creativity these and then we're dead. But if they don't, we get to looting away the growth and then Storm Herald it back, which is nice. They're also currently just at 4. Am I dead yet? Feels dead, man. Yay. This is probably good enough. We find a black source, the hand is quite good. Okay. Gives us a bunch more looks too. Our hand is pretty resilient to Thoughtseize. Little dead guy ale from the opponent here. Okay, let's grab Blightstep here. We can go Stitcher, Supplier, plus Rune of Might here. A little bit too late on that Storm Herald. DOW Instincts, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. That's really unfortunate. Down 3 Heralds here. Opponent is also at 11 now though, so like maybe fair zombie beats are gonna do some work. Down to 9. I don't really have us under any sort of pressure. There's no pressure. Bum 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 ba da dum bum. And there's another Rune of Might here. Our 3/3 tramplers trampling over some Thoughtseizes chip. So not only are we through 3 of our Storm Heralds, but we're through 3 of our bindings as well. The Thoughtseize while on 3 is bold. Man, super punished for throwing away that other might a Rune of Might, huh? Oh wait, are they dead? They're not dead, but they're not in a good spot because this says trample. So they have to double block here with these 2, and then they have to block here, but then they lose these and this lives. What a funny game. So that game is kind of a good example of why we pivot in these fair matchups, because you can take games like that and actually win them. So we're going to board in Questing Beast and Maelstrom Pulse and Klothys and become a little bit more of a fair deck, less in on finding Storm Herald. I think we trim the Ancestral Masks here. Probably the Growths too. Bring in a couple of Ceratops. So we leave in these because they generate value when they come into play off of Storm Herald, but then we're going to try and kill them with these creatures and Klothys here. This is not a Thoughtseize matchup, I don't think. We bring in Thoughtseize against the counterspell decks, but not against a discard-based disruptive deck. Udatam, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Easy mulligan here with no second mana, unfortunately. Tan could be anything, chat. Another reason to board off of our heavy graveyard plans, so things like Rest in Peace post board. Yeah, like that one, chat. Oh, I guess Rest in Peace actually stops our Klothys plan too, huh? It's a touch awkward. Yeah, we have Questing Beasts and Shifting Ceratops, though. No, I put all 4 Shifting Ceratops in. It's really simple. I'll just go here and I'll hit View Sideboard. Oh wait, it just shows my sideboard for game 1 because they designed the View Sideboard feature with best of 1 in mind and never tested it for best of 3. Weird. I'm not salty, you're salty. I wonder if that bug will ever get fixed. We can both be. There's plenty of sodium to go around. Why would you design sideboard features for the format with sideboards? Because here's the dirty little secret. They wrote that feature so you could look at your lessons during Limited, not so you could remember how you sideboarded mid-game. They did test it with the people that they wrote it for. Storm Herald is too slow and fair for Modern. It also lacks Faithless Looting there, but slow and fair in that format. Yeah, we're done playing this cube. No Fire, no Steel. It's really bad. Easily the worst cube that they've ever had on Magic Arena. What happens if I Rune of Might this? Oh, what happens if we trample this one? Should I have trampled this one to start? That's what I should have done, right? It's got Death Touch. I actually don't know if this is lethal, and I probably should have counted. I definitely should have put runes on these two. My play was bad here. Oh, did they not? Oh, honey. Opponent about to learn how Death Touch Trample works. I think my attacks were bad there, but my opponent did not realize how Death Touch Trample interacted. Scotty now knows, chap. So for reference, when something has Death Touch and Trample, it only has to assign 1 damage to each blocker. It is one of the reasons why Questing Beast is so messed up with Embercleave, in fact. The other reason Questing Beast is messed up with Embercleave is because it's Eldraine sprinkled with Eldraine. The easiest way to know that it's about to do something super screwed up. Ketria Triome, you say? A little Teamer on the other side here. Teamer Bird, maybe? There's been some bigger versions of Teamer Bird floating around. I did not mill a Phoenix. Memory lapse. I'm gonna exile their 2 instants here, just in case they're a Torrential Gearhulk deck. So, no Storm Herald, but we'll be able to pick up a land so we can double Binding next turn. Or Binding plus Salvage. They're on Nightpack Ambusher. Man, still no Storm Herald, huh? I'm gonna attack with just Stitcher Supplier, because if they want to ambush this and put cards in my graveyard, that's fine for me. Alright, so we're 28 cards into our deck without a Storm Herald. We get to see 5 with this, and then 1 with the draw step next turn. They don't hold up memory lapse, they could die here. Okay, and the second Storm Herald going into the bin here means that Binding has something to pick back up in 2 turns, which is nice. It's the only instant in here, right? Chat is optimistic about new standard. So I think my Thursday, Friday schedule next week is likely to include a lot of standard. Mask. Prodigious Growth. Rune of Might. Mask. I was optimistic once, February 2020. What's going on, Reckless? Thanks for the 14 months. Alright, so... I don't know how much graveyard heat to expect out of them. I feel like I probably want to stay on my primary game plan against them. They're also a very counterspell-based deck, so it could be right to just, like, board in Shifting Ceratops, just be, like, a little bit less combo-focused. Like, maybe not a full pivot, but a partial pivot. Pivot. Yeah, Shifty Boy against Blue can just, like, win games on its own. You've been training with Rune of Speed. Now, I think having Trample's pretty important. You basically you need a Trample with your mask. And trim around the edges for the last couple here. You've never played Standard without Eldraine warping things. Well, hopefully you're in for a treat in September. That smooth. This hand was a little bit medium, but that smoothed everything right on out. Anybody remember what spell I was casting? Can't. Oh, it was Binding of the Titans. Right, sorry. We had like 6 months of good standard formats for Glee. Like last year, rotation up until honestly like 7 or 8 months. War of the Spark standard didn't get really bad until like a month or 2 in. Yeah, GRN standard is probably my favorite standard format of all time. And that one had a good solid run. Alright, RNA standard introduced Wilderness Reclamation, which made things a little bit worse, but overall it was super reasonable. Alright. Flip 3 Prodigious Growth for me, please, calls the dead. tilt. Well, I guess we do this. Like, see what's up over here. Well, shit. I've not been looking at spoilers. We'll do a full spoiler review on stream together once we get a few more cards out of the way. I mean, I kind of feel like our opponent's gonna die to these zombies, right? I'm just like not gonna cast a spell here. And then if they like draw a land for Niv, I like Binding and then Storm Herald and kill them. But, like they're gonna tap out for Niv here and then they're gonna die. Like, unless they're about to cast Sweltering Suns. Yeah, okay, so kill you. So I'm gonna cast Faithless Looting here. Yeah, I have a card because I'm a giver. And they don't have a Pact of Negation here, they're very dead. Goodbye, friend. Like I said, that's not super reasonable. There's a range of stuff you can still play in this format right now and have a reasonable time. That's just not every other random brew like it was once upon a time. If you're someone that's looking for decks to dork around with in Historic, just a good reminder that the decks on my website in the high potential and proven category are good range of things to pick at. There's over a dozen things between those two. Hey, good game, Just a Mensch. Good luck with the rest of your laddering today. Sand finds a green source. It's okay. It's probably mulligan. Yeah, this is decent. Yeah, Blooming Marsh and Pathways are big upgrades to what this deck has been trying to do. Big Zawine. Thanks for the 44 months. Welcome back. It's a long time. Thanks for the follow, Infinite Team. Also, just as a general reminder to the people that are bumping in on chat, the July sub-survey is up, asking for feedback on format for the next Hoaglandy Open, as well as some other stuff. If you have a couple of minutes, feel free to poke on over and do that. If you've never done one of my sub-surveys before, I promise you they respect your time a lot more than corporate surveys typically do. It's like 5 multiple choice questions and an optional free answer section. Just kind of lets me gauge which types of Magic content and other content I should focus on making based on the people that keep me employed. So I think I'm keeping Rune of Might as a cantrip here. I think there's a good chance this doesn't resolve. We're ready to try and scrape this out. There's just so many flavors of Brainstorm Memory Lapse on the ladder. Which, by the way, one of the questions on the survey is, for the Hooglandia Open, would you like to see Historic with Brainstorm and Memory Lapse banned? The Open is currently leaning towards Historic. I think it's about 3-2 in favor of Historic versus Standard. It's for the follow God kill. This means they could Gear Hulk me next turn. Scary.
Strange and magnificent world. Behold, nature's true power.
So, Growth, Ancestral Mask, Rune of Might. I think I just take the Storm Herald and we just start slamming here. I hope eventually one of them sticks. I assume we're getting Memory Lapse. We're not getting Memory Lapsed! Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, I should have split these up, right? We're gonna get Brazen Borrowered. We're totes about to get Brazen Borrowered. I should have put Mask plus Rune on here, and I should have put Prodigious Growth on here, is what should have happened here. Hunted. There was a Borrower over here, right? Yep. Damn it. So if I would have split this up correctly, they'd have died, right? If I would have done this correctly. I guess I would have had to bounce this. And now we're probably just dead, right?
Rise, my elemental friend.
It's just exhausting. Like, it's not even like our opponent's deck is like the best deck in the format. It's just like getting memory lapsed and them having Brainstorm to always have more memory lapses is just, it's just shitty play patterns. Come on, Disc. I mean, I don't even think... So again, I don't even think that counterspells are inherently bad. It's the play pattern of memory lapse specifically where it doesn't offer player agency, and then brainstorm making all of the blue decks more consistent than everything else, so you're putting yourself at a strict disadvantage in terms of consistency if you're not engaging with it? I think that's a fucking awful question, and I hate that that question is always the one people ask. You think Memory Lapse is worse with format than Counterspell? Would I rather slam my hand in a car door or touch a hot stove? I don't know, they both fucking suck. Why do I gotta pick between the two of them? Is Counterspell worse? It's also awful. It's awful for different reasons, sure, but still terrible. I don't want to slam my hand in a car door, nor do I want to touch the hot stove. Neither are pleasant experiences. Yeah, I think, and honestly, even Mana Leak's pretty obnoxious. But I think if you were like, Jeff, there has to be a 2-mana unconditional counterspell in the format. Which one are you picking? I think I would probably pick Mana Leak. Actually, no. You know what I would pick? I think Miscalculation would be an appropriate power level. I think that one's sweet. Let's get a throwback in there. Kids don't know what Miscalculation does. I was kind of surprised when Quench wasn't Miscalculation. I guess that set didn't have cycling in it. Yeah, it's Quench, but cycles. Unsubstantiate isn't playable, so sure, you can say it's fine, but it's not a playable card, so I don't think it really counts. Walker M, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Yeah, okay. Gonna make Ceratops big enough to attack through a 4/4 wolf. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the green source there so I could play this with haste. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to keep the Stomping Ground on top. Afternoon Beansy. Allow me to power up my protection from blue creature. Okay. And then next turn, Rune of Might makes the Ceratops big enough to attack into Night Pack plus its pup. Unsubstantiate doesn't see play, Neil, because it's not a 1-for-1. The reason why Memory Lapse is good is because it 1-for-1s your opponent. When you spend a card on Unsubstantiate to send a spell back to your opponent's hand, your opponent still has a resource and you're down a resource and all you gained was tempo. I'm actually taking the Overgrown Tomb here. So that way we can hasty this other Shifting Ceratops next turn. I'm gonna hang on to this because I'm not discarding this for anything. The longest time, Remand was the counterspell of choice. Yeah, that's because Remand draws a card. So when Remand sends a card back to your opponent's hand, it buys you tempo, but also doesn't put you down on resources. So Remand generates tempo and is card neutral. Fuck, I forgot to give this haste. I'm just... Probably doesn't matter. They probably have another night pack. I think I'm gonna try and slug out a couple more games here, but I think I'm gonna replace tomorrow's Magic Arena segment with Modern on Magic Online. Magic Arena's formats they've been tough recently. And I think I need a day off after the last couple of days. Modern's been really good. Mana Tomb, thanks for the 17 months. I think we're gonna do that. Maybe we'll do a bit less arena until the set drops. The Praetors are largely not competitive in a format riddled with 2-mana counterspells. There's some Reanimator style decks that are just not quite good enough to play them, but they're really just not competitive. Not a Memory Lapse deck. Fist Pump. Shoutouts to you, opponent. Modern submissions are $50 tentatively, but I'm also pretty selective with what I take for Modern. We have not played an Asmo deck yet, but I have one in the deck queue waiting to be played. I think we actually have 3 or 4 Modern decks in the deck queue right now, which is another reason to do more Modern. Yeah, I've got 3 Modern decks waiting to be played. We played one of those already. Yeah, I'd do a Death Shadow build of my choice for 50. I think there's a few different Shadow decks that are super reasonable in the format. Attacking with the Stitcher Supplier, because if they want to kill it in mill 3, that's good. How much longer before Modern on Arena? 6 years? I'd estimate a decade or more. I think 4 to 6 years for Pioneer on Arena is probably a generous estimate. And Modern's twice as long as that, so I'd wager twice as long. Dryad of the Grove Collected Company. Oh man, are we gonna get Bajuka Bogged, chat? My body is ready to get Bajuka Bogged, chat. Bob Champ, something like that. Hey, thanks for that deep price. It'll be up sometime next week. Six would be the high end of a Pioneer estimate, I bet. Well, I just look at historically what they've been doing, right? We've been getting like 1.5 to 2 past blocks per year. and then count how many blocks we still have to get for Pioneer and then for Modern. And then divide that by 2 for a optimistic estimate and set it to 1 for a conservative estimate. Squirrels! Thanks for the 5 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think that description is accurate. The Angels Clerics deck is reasonable, but has kind of polarized matchups. Let's looting here and see if we can kill them, huh? Another enchantment or 2 would do it. Hey, nice Ectominic. Okay, so this has Death Touch. So I'd get 1, 2, 3, 4 enchantments back. Each of the masks will be +6. And then each of these are +1. So that's only +14. And we're not dead on board. I think we just go land pass. And then we hope that this finds us another enchantment or 2 so these masks can go crazy. Actually, we might be dead. They make a cat, and then next turn they go passage, fetch with passage. Yeah, are we actually dead? I think we're dead here. I think our opponent's about to pop off. Oh, right. Dryad lets them replay this land from the Bit a Bunch. Oh, yeah, we're super dead. I'm going to let the opponent do it, since this is their nut draw. It's kind of sweet. Let's see how big they can do it. Yeah, there wasn't really anything we could do differently. We needed to have one more enchantment in the graveyard to kill them, unfortunately. Whoa, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate the Prime. Welcome back. Sick. And if they wanted, they can even activate this Knight to get some more triggers going. Yeah. Super dead. Honestly, I think I'm just going to click submit and just try and race them here. But them leaning on their graveyard, I'd assume that I'd hope that they're not bringing in a Rest in Peace or something like that. We bricked off a little bit there, but our average linear draw should be a little better than theirs. Ancient Grudge might have been good. Can you explain why? What artifact did my opponent play? Yeah, you're thinking of Ray of Revelation. It could be right to just bring in a couple of Maelstrom Pulses for cleaning up their field of cats. Because it also kills creatures or like tags random Rest in Peace in case they have it. Alright, this hand's pretty good. It's got the Storm Herald rolled up already, so this Grisly Salvage can find us a 3rd land. Just to go 1, 2, 3, put a bunch of stuff in the bin, play this on 4. Oh, I got you, Sufa. You're set. That's great. If this really high rolls, we could kill them next turn. Nope. Damn it, Prodigious Growth. Man, we are not lucky today. It's been a been a rough last couple of days for arena variants, chat. The Shuffler is out to get us. The Shuffler is as rigged as the earth is flat, people. Wake up. The truth is out there. Also, chat, I had an idiot that really made my day. I shadow banned them, but they made me smile and I told them to fuck off. I had one of my typical, they were announcing their displeasure with the content that I was making. They were very upset that they heard politics in the first 3 minutes of one of my videos on YouTube. So I was curious to see what set them off because I couldn't remember like any particularly hot political takes recently. So it's just like something average and mundane. And I kid you not, the political thing that made them change the channel and announce their displeasure was me making fun of trickle-down economics. Someone had redeemed Shillionaire, and I did my trickle-down Shillionaire bit, where we talk about trickle-down Shillonomics and just like, good golly, there's no helping you if you think needling trickle-down economics is something that's unfair and unreasonable. Just like, good lord. Dude seething while looking at his room full of Reagan posters. Yeah, exactly that. It's really adorable, Meta Magic Missile, that you think empirical evidence can sway people, or lack thereof. 2020 is a post-fact society. The truth is whatever you want it to be, chat. You are a toddler now, Virtuoso. Thanks for the 24 months. Welcome back. Why did we conceded there because my opponent had plenty of blockers and lots of life, and they had a giant flying thing that was going to kill us over the course of the next couple turns. That we couldn't block. Chat! Someone check the calendar. Is it Christmas? This is a second non-memory lapse deck in a row. I don't even know what to do with my hands. Okay, nice. We're binning this. Honestly, I think I'm just ditching this other Storm Herald again here. All we need is one of them. We finally milled close to average. Okay, this is a little above average. I forgot we discarded the Ancestral Mask earlier. Are you gonna get to turn 3 someone today, chat? No! My Storm Herald! No, we were gonna turn 3 them, chat. The hubris punished. I mean, it was the correct play. I didn't know that this was gonna hit the stone cold nuts. Turn 5? Turn 5 is so slow and fair, chat. Why would I want to wait until turn 5 to win? That's so many turns from now, chat. We do also have to draw a land in the middle. This'll help a little bit. PV's so good, chat. No! We just can't catch a fucking break today, chat. Yeah, they only get to exile 3 things. That's probably enough. We don't have that many. I'll take a draw step at a land tier, but I assume we're done. Deal. Not a 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enchantments in the bin. Okay. They can exile 1 and then 2 more currently. It was a lot of enchantments, chat. Living on a prayer, take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, lizard on a chair. Do, 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 do. Their ooze activations will also tell us here if they have collected company or not. They do not. Wait, did they miss the masks? Shame MTG, thanks for the 28 months. Welcome back. We beat the Scavenging Ooze. We beat the Scavenging Ooze, chat! It's so exciting, and I just can't hide it. Opponent definitely did not take the time to read our Mercadian Mask common there. Golden Age Hero. It's for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. All right. Pulse and Klothys, I think, come in here for grinding a fair game a little bit. But I think I want to stay on the combo plan for the most part. Our Questing Beast Ceratops is not very good against their creature-based deck. We got these Titans in check, chat. Bind them up. There's a lot of binding going on at Wizards of the Coast, huh, chat? Binding of the Titans, binding of the old gods. Someone on the creative team likes being tied up. You can play some more pathways, or you can play some check lands. Spellbinder, yep. Lots of things being tied up. Whoop, meant to do Blooming Marsh, but binding the prize pool. It's true, you know. Come on, play a Lovestruck Beast. Do it. Do it. Well, I guess they're looking at this and they know that Mire Triton is coming, so maybe they want to do something else. Really? Alright. Interesting line. Salvage letting us still double spell over the course of a couple turns is nice here. Does Brainstorm count as binding the format? Yes. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're one short of lethal next turn. And unfortunately, I think we're going to be short, right? I have 1, 2, 3 enchantments in here, and that's not enough for lethal. This is probably a mulligan, right? Binding would have to be really good. Binding would need to hit, like, Faithless Looting for this to be reasonable. This seems fine. Wants to draw a third land on 3, but I think we want to keep all of these. We have 2 enablers and then the Storm Herald himself. Perfect. Never didn't have it. It's for the Follow Screeve. With the no plays on 1 or 2. So expecting a lot of good 3s out of them. Spellbinder, perhaps? What's going on, Austin? Thanks for the 33 months. Welcome back. Good afternoon. I like this line on their part. They took away the one that was going to mill me more. Makes a lot of sense. It's a nice top deck for us. Oh, we've got a lot of Faithless Lootings and not a lot of enchantments. Got a lot of zombies, though. Zombie, 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 hey, hey. Kind of surprised was their turn 3 play. I wonder what the opponent kept. They haven't played any Graveyard Hate yet. They just, like, have a bunch of collected companies here. Alright, 2 Prodigious Growths and, they have Graveyard Hate. Got it. I guess we do this and hope to mill a couple more enchantments, then we just YOLO the Storm Herald before the Excuse takes over. Unfortunately, unlike the first game, my opponent is not choked on resources here, so... Also get to draw a card off the Storm Herald. We'll get to smack them for a little bit and see maybe if we can win this game fairly. Yeah, and at this point, our scrappy beatdown plan just doesn't really work. Yeah, and the Klothys isn't even going to be good enough. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even boarded this in, huh? It's just not good enough against the Scavenging Ooze playing, so they can just target whatever we try to eat every turn. And I'd venture to guess this 4 mana means there's a collected company coming. I feel bad ending early a little bit 2 days in a row with Magic stuff, but man, arena formats have just been brutal the last couple of days. I'm gonna take arena off my schedule for tomorrow. We're gonna do some extra modern in that slot, I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and fire up Spider-Man for the rest of the stream today. Rune Tarot was good this morning. We're gonna do some Rune Tarot to start again tomorrow. And we'll do some modern on Magic Online after, and then we'll shake it off, and we'll be back to doing some arena stuff on Sunday. Actually, Mirror will be live. We'll be live on Sunday. So Sunday stream, we hit the goal for Guardian Tales. Thanks to everybody in the community that helped me hit that for that sponsor. And then mirror the historic format with where we get to play like modified Oko and stuff will be up. So we get to play like Temur Oko and Yarok Field and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just it's really disappointing that like this is the worst cube they've ever put up on Arena, and it's up during a time where Historic's been left to rot under Brainstorm, and Historic's been left to rot under Brainstorm, and Standard is Eldraine and all that other jazz.